Welcome back, Justin here. Welcome back to the Dead Couch and welcome to the new studio. Although it's kind of in shambles right now, this is a work in progress. It's kind of an as-is situation. I am slowly building a new set and a new studio. And then you might as well also hear some 4th of July fireworks going on in the background. But today we're here to talk about Maxine. This is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Of course, Terrifier 2 is my most anticipated movie of the year all around. And Nosferatu I'm really excited about. But Maxine was definitely high on my list as something that I knew I had to see the first opportunity I have. There was a sneak preview tonight playing Wednesday. I think it officially opens Friday wide, but I was lucky enough to catch a screening tonight and just cut to the chase. The movie's great. The movie's awesome. Once again, with this new installment in this movie, it kind of throws you for a loop with a completely different visual style, filmmaking style, completely different era. Just a few years down the line from the first movie, which took place in the 70s, Pearl took place in the 20s or 30s, way back in the day. Massive time jump there to tell the story of Pearl. And now we're back to Maxine. We're getting back to Maxine's storyline, and her career is sort of, she's a successful porn actress now, but she's still trying to break through. She knows she can be a star, and she's ready to break into Hollywood, and she's presented with her first opportunity in a big movie in Hollywood. But of course, her past starts catching up to her, and these obstacles keep getting in her way, and you're hoping throughout the course of this movie, like, God damn it, just let Maxine get a win. She just needs a win. And it's a wild movie with a great cast. But again, this movie does feel completely different than takes place in 1985. So just a few short years after the events of X, the big massacre at the farmhouse when they're filming their porn movie. And Maxine's now kind of on her own. She's moved to LA and she's she's surviving. She's doing okay, but she's not where she wants to be. She's working in like a little peep show, strip club place. She's filming porn movies, but she has a big audition for a horror movie, and she's presented with an opportunity that could lift her to that next level of fame so she can be that star on the big silver screen like she's always wanted. But of course, as she's making her rise to the top, there are plenty of obstacles and people in her way that want to stop her from achieving her goals, and that's really where the tension derives from. People kind of coming back into her life that know a little too much about her past, that could potentially squash her dreams to be a star. One of those villains in the movie, Kevin Bacon, plays a really wild character. I'm not going to do any big spoilers. These are pretty basic plot points. I'm not spoiling anything in the movie. But the most striking thing about this movie is, of course, the switch up in styles. We are now in 1985, and Maxine is a big porn star, but of course she wants to be on the silver screen. She doesn't want to be in VHS tapes in back rooms of mom and pop video stores. Mia Goth's performance in this movie, again, is just tremendous. I don't think there's anything this woman can't do. In fact, there's a scene in the movie where she's kind of running through some lines, and there's no cuts in the scene, and she's able to just go from smiling and bubbly to dead serious with tears streaming down her face, and then she just wipes it off like nothing happens. She's just a freak for this dramatic flair and acting she has. She's just so great. Every moment she's on screen, she's just fantastic, and this movie is really wild. This is more of a slow burn than the other movies are. This is definitely kind of this gritty LA crime story that takes place also at the same time as the Night Stalker. So it's kind of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where we're following all of our characters, but in the background, there's just this terror overlooking the city as this serial killer is taking people out, and it's a good little bit of tension and a side plot to kind of move things along. But overall, it is a slower moving story. It's almost like kind of a gritty 80s kind of giallo film at times. There's a mystery killer, so to speak. There's a mystery stalker. You're wondering if all of these murders that seem to be happening as all of the people around Maxine start to die, you're wondering, is it the Night Stalker? Is it somebody else? And it really has a lot of tension. But what I really loved about the style, because there's a lot of people may be fatigued of this 80s throwback style, and although it is an 80s throwback movie, it's not done in this sort of like poppy kind of pop art way where the way we're going to make our movie 80s is just by blasting a bunch of product placement and just putting neons that just drench every scene. He's doing this in a very authentic way, Ty West, which I thought was such a smart move. It doesn't just look like you put an 80s filter on a movie and put goofy makeup and funny clothes on everybody, throwing members only jackets on people. It's not like that. It's 80s in the sense that this movie looks like it feels like it could have been pulled off the shelves in an 80s video store, and it just looks very organically, naturally 80s. There's a lot of scenes that take place in the middle of the city. It's really grimy and gritty and gross. And there's a couple times in the movie also, as it's going back to Mia Goth's character, where you know all the things that Maxine has been through. You know what she's capable of as far as the events in X, but you kind of forget that at times until Maxine is put into these situations where she has to have sudden bursts of violence or this menacing sort of vibe that she has that just come out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, that's right. This is fucking Maxine. She's a badass, and she will do whatever it takes to get what she wants. And we have some great scenes of that. The performances are all great. Like I said, it is a little bit slower moving. This is a movie, like with all of these movies, especially with Pearl and this one, I think it's that second watch is going to kind of fill in a lot of holes that I may have missed. The music is fantastic. This is probably, being that Ty West had a lot, like a bigger budget with this movie. It doesn't seem overdone. It seems like the money was put where it needed to be. There's some great songs in the soundtrack. There's not a lot of special effects. All this movie feels very practical. He made use of bigger locations and these type of things. So he put the budget to good use as the budget started growing for this trilogy of movies. But overall, this movie is fantastic. If you were a fan of Pearl, if you were a fan of X, this movie is nestled into that trilogy absolutely perfectly. You could definitely watch this movie, Pearl, X, Maxine, even though they were not released in that order. That is the natural sort of progression of all the characters and stuff. So that's fun. High recommend on this one. It's really, really good. I think people who maybe loved X but didn't love Pearl so much will be able to feel right back at home in with Maxine, because it feels more like sort of that gritty, grimy horror slasher type stuff, but it's done with a lot of care, and it's just a really, really well-made movie. I'm so anxious to see what Ty West is going to do next. But yeah, overall, it's a fantastic movie. I just wanted to get in here. I just got back a little bit ago, and I thought I'd just make a quick off-the-cuff video and talk about Maxine a little bit. So let me know if you guys were able to see the sneak preview. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of it. I thought it was fantastic. It's like almost a perfect trilogy. This Ty West managed to really pull off something special. You don't see too many of these trilogies where every single one of them is good, where every single one of them just isn't a carbon copy of the one that came before it. He really had a vision for this, and it came across like very confident, and I love this trilogy. So that's pretty much all I got for this, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I have more videos coming. I'm not sure if all of them will be so like off the cuff and, you know, kind of raw like this one, but I have a lot of ideas of movies and things I want to talk about on this channel, so I'm back. So it's good to see you guys. Thank you for watching. Stay weird. Remember to always be yourself, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.